A new Pentagon report describes what happened during an ambush in Niger that killed 4 American soldiers and injured 2 others. The report says multiple failures, including a lack of proper training, led to the 4 men's deaths. A declassified version of the full report has yet to be released. David Martin is at the Pentagon with new information on that October firefight. David, good morning.
Good morning. The investigation found that a series of failures by people and organizations left that patrol unable to deal with an ambush they never saw coming. They were outnumbered 3 to 1 by a well-trained and well-armed enemy.
If you get to a position in an operation where you're under enemy contact, you need to be able to operate like clockwork without having to speak because you know the drills. And in this particular case, the team did not conduct those basic soldier-level skills.
General Thomas Waldhauser, commander of U.S. troops in Africa, said the team of 11 Americans had not trained together enough. Then they set out to capture a terrorist, a mission for which they did not have proper approval. But lead investigator Major General Roger Cloutier said the mistake should not obscure one other fact.
There were numerous acts of extraordinary bravery that occurred on that day.
The military's digital recreation shows that when the ambush hit, the troops returned fire, but soon realized they were outgunned and outnumbered and tried to drive out of the kill zone. One vehicle was left behind. Sergeant Brian Black was the first to fall. Sergeants Jeremiah Johnson and Dustin Wright stayed with him until overwhelming enemy fire forced them to run. Sergeant Jeremiah Johnson was shot and rendered immobile. Sergeant Wright then stopped to return to his teammate's position, continuing to engage the enemy until both were fatally wounded. The rest moved to a second position, were again overwhelmed and had to retreat. Unable to make it to his vehicle, Sergeant LaDavid Johnson made a nearly 1,100-yard dash for life, which ended at this thorn tree. He continued to fight, despite early reports he had been captured.
Sergeant LaDavid Johnson, first of all, died actively engaging the enemy. He was never captured alive. His hands were never bound.
800 Americans remain in Niger, but they have now been given armored vehicles in which to patrol and told to scale back their operations in order to reduce the chances of coming in contact with the enemy. John?
David, thanks so much. So now we know what happened, but the question, why were there those multiple failures?
And John, to hear that the family has to hear lack of proper training and a series of failures led to the death of your loved one that you get to see how it played out has got to be very painful.
Absolutely.